Hello, and welcome back to 3 Up and 3 Down. Before I go on, I wanted to touch on something. I got a couple of emails and a couple questions and comments asking me why there were no picks for Thursday night's NFL single game. And as we go on this channel, we are going to make some changes. For now, at least, we are going to concentrate on Saturday afternoon's main college football Draftkings contest, and also the Sunday main contest for NFL. If in the future, if I get enough subscriptions or enough people that are looking for those single games, Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football games, then I will consider getting back on. But we're trying to expand the channel a little bit. If you look down at my other videos, I've already started on my opinion piece. Remember, I was a sports writer for over 25 years, and it was something about Alabama football that I posted last week, and those are going to get more frequent. Also, coming soon, we're going to have sports trivia with prizes, and, like I said, if you still need me to do those or want me to do those single game picks and I get enough interest in it, I will. Now to the good thing. Last week on our college football 3 Up and 3 Down, we knocked it out of the park. 5 of our 6 picks hit 3 times their value. The 6th pick hit 4 times its value. That being Sawyer Robinson, the quarterback for Baylor. It was so good, in fact, that if you would have played our 6 picks, all you needed was 3 more points from your other 2 players to cash in the DraftKings main contest. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that's not going to happen every week. I will take that every week, but it's not going to. Some weeks are actually going to be better. Sometimes we're going to get 5 and 6 X's, even if one of them doesn't hit a 3X. And by that I mean if a player is cost $5,000 on DraftKings, 3X will give him 15 points, 4X will give him 20, and so on and so forth. All right, so our 3 Up and 3 Down show consists of 3 players that I think you should pay up for in tomorrow's or Saturday's DraftKings main contest for college football, and 3 players that I think are probably a little underpriced and should hit value quite easily. And we're going to start off going back to the well again, just like last week. Running back Tash Brooks of Texas Tech, who is 8,800. Texas Tech is playing TCU this week. And there are some times where you just don't have to overthink things. Brooks is one of the best running backs in college football. He has at least 21 carries and 27 fantasy points in each of the last 4 games. TCU is the worst defense on this slate against the run. He'll be chalk, but I'm not sure you can stay away from him. And that's also has, as I said, TCU has the worst run defense. Texas Tech has the worst pass defense and the second worst run defense. That's why the over and under for this game is the second highest total of the 12-game slate at 66.5. Even though Texas Tech's run defense is not very good, actually it's awful, there is nobody on the TCU side of the ball that I really feel that comfortable about, as far as runners go, to put him in this list. Now we go to the second one of our 3 Up, and we're going to stay in the very same game, go to the other side, and it's going to be quarterback Josh Hooper of TCU, who is 8,000. As I mentioned, Texas Tech is just plain awful on defense. Dead last against the pass in this slate. At 66.5 points, and I believe it was a 6-point spread, it's a very good possibility that each team scores over 30. Hoover is coming off his worst game of the year against Utah. And Texas Tech should fix that. Before that, he had at least 2 touchdowns in the previous 6 games that he had played. And finally, in this one, I went back and forth with between 4 players as far as on a 3 Up section. But we are going to stay with wide receiver D.T. Shepard of North Texas. I mentioned TCU, Texas Tech is going to be the second highest scoring game. Well, North Texas and Tulane is the highest by half a point as far as the odds makers go at 67. The last two games, Shepherd has caught 19 passes for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns. There are going to be a lot of passes thrown on this Texas Tech defense. On this Tulane defense. Another very bad defense. He has over 100 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. And like I said, it was not an easy choice because there are a few other players that I looked at, including Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison is now in the NFL. I'm sorry. Jeremiah Smith, the receiver for Ohio State. And James, the running back for Oregon. But we're going to stick with Shepherd for now. Now for the 3 down players that I think are underpriced. And we're going to start off with wide receiver, going back to that game. I've got 2 players on already. Savion Williams of TCU. Now, you can match him up with Hoover. And Williams is probably a 1A receiver in TCU, but what really drew me to him is the fact that last week he ran out of the Wildcat for the first time this year against Utah because they just could not move the ball that game. And not only did he run out of the Wildcat, he ran 7 times for 72 yards. Add to that the fact that he's averaging about 5 catches a game. This is a high-scoring game, and he's only 5,000. I'm going to stick with Savion Williams. Next up, and this is a tricky one, I'm going to go to running back Marcus Carroll from Missouri, only 4,000. Now, Carroll has been rotating carries with Nate Noel for Missouri, but Noel is going to be out on Saturday. My concern with this game is that Missouri plays Alabama, who is coming off 3 awful contests. Actually, no, 2 awful contests. They've actually been playing pretty bad. The last 3 weeks, including last week's loss to Tennessee. Alabama's a 20-point favorite. If Alabama gets ahead, maybe Marcus Carroll becomes a little bit less of a great pick. But I think Missouri can stay close in this game. I think they're going to try to keep the ball away from Alabama. And at 4,000, all he needs is 12 to 15 points, which in a close game, I think he easily gets. And finally, on our 3 down section, we're going to go to running back Justice Ellison of Indiana at 5,500. He is averaging 7 yards per carry so far this year. But more importantly, for unbeaten Indiana, and they go against Washington, their quarterback, Curtis Rourke, is out. Indiana's going to want to have to control the ball, stay unbeaten against a vulnerable Huskies defense. And I think at that price, Ellison is going to be well worth his money. Once again, to go over our 3 up and 3 down, on the 3 up side, we have running back Tosh Brooks of Texas Tech at 8,800. Quarterback Josh Hoover of TCU at 8,500. Wide receiver DT Shepherd of North Texas at 7,000. On the 3 down side, we have wide receiver Savion Williams of TCU at 5,100. Running back Marcus Carroll of Missouri at 4,000. Running back Justice Ellison of Indiana at 5,500. Remember, we are a new channel. We're going to get much better. Like I mentioned, we're going to have trivia. We're going to have a lot of other things. If you enjoyed this information, and especially if we win you some money, please hit like and subscribe. And let's win some money on Saturday.